All right. Welcome everyone to the stream. My name is Andrew, the founder of Charts Focus 1, and today is the final weekday for one of my C.F.O technical analysis nights. So if you guys are new here, I do my technical analysis nights lives every other weekday. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if you guys are looking to tune in, please tune in at those days. And the times are 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so we will wait for a little bit more people here to come in. Emails are being sent out to the subscribers of this channel. So hopefully you guys who are subscribed are getting your emails every single time, or at least notified every single time I am live on YouTube. Okay, let's go ahead and start. So let's go over a quick market summary here. So today we started off the month of October green as a cucumber here, or green as a pickle, if that's the same. But it seems like we're bouncing off of a previous demand area that I've been looking at. So around right here, so the price range would be around 428 to around 430ish. So that's where your buyers are coming in right now. And if we were to go lower than 427, okay, and break 427 and keep on heading lower, that would push out all the buyers who are basically respecting this price level and defending it as they were previously back in early July and mid July. And that will make sellers, and that'll give leeway for sellers to come in and push the price lower all the way to back to 420. So 420 to 422-ish was my price level that I was looking out for back in late June. But obviously, we are seeing a lot of buyers here around this area right now. So if we're able to hold off and defend this line against the sellers here, we should see some sideways action coming in. Okay. But for now, I think we can use 437-ish as our new level of resistance, which is previously our level of resistance as well, back in mid-July. And now we're using it as a new level of resistance as well. And our new level of support roughly is around, I would say around 428 to 430-ish. That'll be a nice demand area or zone to be looking out for, but specifically I'll be looking out for 430 to become the main level of support. But as we are kind of moving sideways, is kind of what I'm predicting at the very least. It's kind of like this type of movement right here. And as we get tighter and tighter, as the price ranges gets tighter and tighter, and as we move away from volatility, we should start seeing more of a tightening of a price range. Okay, as that happens, I would expect some type of daily chart pattern to form, or we might just see another rejection off of this descending level of resistance. Okay, this descending trend line of resistance, it has been proven to reject the price here often. Okay, so we got that nasty pullback starting this week, I believe, or last week, or actually Tuesday, right? Tuesday. So right when we touch this level right here, we immediately pull back. All right, so that means sellers are going to 100% be respecting this descending trend line of resistance. Okay, I see that more people are coming in. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Hey, Joel. Welcome. Welcome. Nice to see you always in here. So that was a quick market summary here. I'm always going to be giving a little bit more of an in-depth analysis to my C.F.O Single Watch subscribers. So if you guys are interested in that, please go ahead and subscribe by using the link down below in the description box. But let's go over some tickers that I wanted to go over with you guys. So the first ticker that I kind of want to go over with everyone here is NEO. So NEO is something that I posted on my Instagram page here. Okay, let me get this better for you guys to be able to view. Okay, so if I should make this full screen, I hope you guys are able to see this correctly. But other than that, so NEO looks very, very good. All right. First reason, all right, the first reason why I'm looking at NEO is that we're seeing a falling wedge. Okay, and we're nearing this point where both of these descending support and resistance trend lines are almost converging. All right, and that's what makes it a wedge. All right, so some people have a kind of a hard time distinguishing what's a wedge or what's a channel, but all you need to see is that a channel is going to be literally straight lines. All right, and they're not going to have a converging point anytime soon, while a falling wedge is showing to have both the trend lines converging at some point. Okay, so if I were to draw this out further and further and further, right, they're going to meet at one instance or another, right? Like right now, what I just did. Okay, but obviously, the price doesn't have to completely respect both of these trend lines. It can break out. Okay, so this is a bullish chart pattern, as the price is respecting both of these trend lines and kind of chopping back and forth, but obviously going down in price since we're falling, right? We're falling into the wedge. That's why it's called a falling wedge. The price is going to get less volatile as it nears this converging point, and it's going to start giving leeway for more buyers to come in as selling starts to really starts to decrease. And how do I know that? Well, just take a look at the volume bars here, right? So every single time we have a very huge pop of something right here, right? It gets lower and lower on average, right? And also the overall relative volume is falling as well. So that means we're going to have to see a huge breakout either to the downside or to the upside, but obviously the probability is higher to the upside because of the fact that we're seeing a falling wedge, which is a bullish chart pattern. So once you get a breakout above this descending resistance trend line, okay, this descending trend line of resistance here, we should see a big pop in volume as well in correspondence to that breakout. Okay, so I hope that makes a lot of sense. So I've been accumulating NEO. This is a name that I just started watching this week, right after the big volume pop right here. And also there's a lot of positive news coming out with NEO because this Chinese electric vehicle or EV automaker is starting to go into European markets. All right, I believe they're going to Norway, but they do face harsh competition there. There's 3 different established EV car manufacturers over there already. So NEO has been looking to do something a little bit different. So what I've been reading on for NEO is that they're kind of looking to do something that's a little bit unconventional to what a car maker would do, especially for EV. They're looking to make a subscription plan where you can actually switch out your batteries. So the battery lifespan is short, but you can subscribe each month, which is relatively, I would say relatively inexpensive. I think it ranges from 130. I don't remember the specific numbers, but I think it was around $130 to around $150, which would be the round up numbers there, if I were to remember specifically, but I do not remember specifically what the prices were. But it seems like they can. If they succeed in this subscription plan where people are actually subscribing to have their batteries changed on their cars, that would be pretty significant and a pretty groundbreaking business model for the car industry. So Neo's trying something out very new in the European market, and if they're able to do well with that type of a subscription plan for a car, they can expand that to the U.S. and other markets as well, especially emerging markets like Africa and other third world countries. So Neo's looking very good so far. All right, so that's basically what I watched for Neo. All we need to see is a good breakout of about 36.50-ish or 55-ish around there with a lot of good volume. But so far, it has been proving itself as a huge level of resistance, as it did today, where we opened up a little bit above 36.50, but we still failed it. So I'm going to be watching out for another attempt to come back up above 36.50 or even open above 36.50 and rest right at this resistance here, right here, and use it as new level support so it can start bouncing and heading up higher up towards the 40s, which will be my price target. Okay, so we'll keep your eyes on Neo. All right. So the next name that I want to look at was Amat. All right, AMAT. So this is also a name that has been featured on my Instagram page. So if you guys are not following the Instagram page, make sure you guys are following it because I do tend to post some charts here and there, usually at least twice a week or once a week. And I do post some charts that people would love to see. So make sure you guys are following that page. All right. So for Amat, we are tightening up here a lot, and we're now allowing the 200 SMA to be almost caught up to the action of the price. So after the sell-off below this ascending support trend line here, we're kind of seeing some of support here one more time, once again here around, I would say around 127 to 126. That would be our demand area. But specifically, I will be looking at 126 as a new level support. And if we go below 126, I will expect a lot more stronger buying coming in around 125. All right, those are your whole number price levels there. Now, with Amat, if this bounce right here that we saw today, all right, this is a pretty good bounce. I mean, this huge long wick at the bottom, this tells me that buyers were very much present today, thanks to the overall market kind of up and being up today. But still, you guys have to remember, we are still in the market correction, all right? So before I go into the name here, we are still in a market correction. Why? Well, because we are below the daily 50 SMA, which is a crucial support for any type of technical analysis that you do, especially when you're using SMAs. Okay, so 50 SMA is a very critical area of support. We're underneath that, so we are in a correctional phase. As also the volatility is still there. We're having big price ranges every single trading day. Okay, so we're very much still in a correction. I would be expecting a sideways movement to come out, a consolidation phase to come out of this correction. So please be on watch for that. Oops, let's go back to Amat. So Amat, with this bounce today, I would expect a little bit of a kind of a relief bounce, not really an oversold bounce, since we are not oversold. Well, there we are. I just pulled the RSI and we are not oversold. And people have asked me, how do you know it's not oversold, right? How do you know it's not oversold? Just not, based off not seeing the RSI. Well, because I personally am now comfortable with how price moves with any stock, day to day specifically, and I just at some point it just clicks within you, when the price looks to be oversold or looks to be overbought, without looking at the RSI. But obviously, I'm a human. I'm not perfect, so I will look at the RSI here and there once in a while, and so it all comes down to skill and experience. All right, experience being the most important. Okay, so we just started this relief bounce today, and next week I would expect continuation of this price back towards 132-ish, which will be our next crucial level of resistance. So I will change this color to red so that's a little bit more prominent. Okay, but this right here will be our level of, well, our nearest level of resistance. But for next week on Monday, when we open up, I would want to see a little bit of a sell-off, maybe back down to 128, and then some buying to come back in. All right. Or if we continue to sell off, okay, and we hit this level around 126 or around 126.50-ish, okay, I want to see a double bottom bounce, right? And you might be wondering, where's the double bottom, right? Well, just by using the low of today, right? The low today was 126.45. So that's perfect. So if you were to bounce off of 126.50, that would be warranted as a double bounce. All right. So those are my two scenarios there for a month. Okay. So that's it for AMAT. Keep your eyes on this ticker, and let's also look at Disney next. All right. So Disney, I posted, I believe 2 days ago. Okay. And or yesterday, I think. Yeah, it was yesterday, where Disney, all right, I did signify, okay, that we need to hold 167. This is our line in the sand here, all right. If we break this level 167, there's not much support until I would say around 152.50ish. Okay, so if you're to break this $167 level, there's literally no support. Why? Well, because there's a huge gap to be filled here. Okay, so with that in mind, today we saw a huge relief bounce. All right, this is what we call usually an H pattern. All right, this is a very bearish chart pattern. So if you guys haven't seen this before, right, this is usually a very bearish chart pattern because as this curve that forms the rest of the H, that's where a lot of selling comes in, right? And you guys can obviously tell, right, there's a lot of selling that was coming in. But today we negated this H pattern by using the lows of the H here as a double bottom pattern. And we actually opened up a lot higher from the close of yesterday. And today, we saw a lot of buying coming back in at this previous level support around 172.10-ish. All right. So, today was an absolute excellent day for Disney. We are right back above the 10 SMA as well. So we're close above the 10 SMA, and we used a previous level support as new support again. So this is very, very good here for the stock. So, Disney, very good long-term stock. If it decides to head back down, just because of the fact that investors in Wall Street is not liking how Disney is not growing with the Disney Plus subscribers, I would say, Disney will always be a good pick for long-term, for your long-term investments. If you see a huge dip in Disney, all right, so because Disney is here to stay, it's basically the number one. Well, in my personal view, it's basically the number one entertainment company in the world right now, currently. Okay, it's a media conglomerate, an entertainment conglomerate, I would say, or even a monopoly, because of the fact that they've acquired so many different companies and animation studios and etc. Okay, so my last ticker that I'll go over today, personally here, is PLTR. All right, so last time I did my live on Wednesday, okay, I believe it was the 29th, I did say that this huge ascending support trend line will be our, line in the sand here. And right after the next, on Thursday, we decided to break it, okay? And I did not like what I saw. So on Friday, today, we saw some significant bounce, all right? And that's only because of the fact that we've been selling off for the past 4 days, right? Basically the whole week. So due to such oversold conditions, all right, if I look at the 2-hour time frame, and there we are, we're oversold, we just decide to bounce, right? And so also, this is also one of those instances where I can tell when something's oversold without the RSI, just based on the price action. And that's kind of what I really want you guys to focus on, because it's really, really imperative that you understand how price works, and understand when the price can be oversold or overbought without looking at technical indicators, because RSI at the end of the day is still a technical indicator, a lagging technical indicator. All right, it's not going to tell you exactly what you want to see. The price is only going to tell you that. All right, so it's a really good skill to attain, to kind of really kind of be able to see how the price is going to be behaving based on oversold or overbought conditions without looking at the RSI, right? But obviously, I'm going to put up the RSI for you guys so that you guys know. And it's confirmed that's oversold for now on the 2-hour time frame, but we're still oversold a little bit, so we should be seeing a bounce back to this ascending support trend line. So here's one or two things that I'm going to expect to happen for PLTR. On Monday, we're going to see a nice rise back up above the 2-hour 10 SMA here, this red line here, and as we're going back above, okay, we're going to retest this ascending support trend line as a new level of resistance. All right, and I would expect a rejection. And if we see a strong enough rejection where sellers who are present right here in the past 4 days come back and we sell again, okay, and if we sell again, then it's confirmed that we are not going to be using this ascending support trend line, all right, and we're going to continue to go down and use this as a new level of resistance from this point forward. All right, but let's go back to our time frame. If we come back above this ascending level of support, and then we start going back upwards, okay, and we use this as a new level, as an old level of support once again, I will see a new uptrend to start forming again. Okay, and how do I know this? Well, take a look at the past 2 times where we touch this level of this support, ascending support trend line, and we start to go up higher and higher. So either today could have been a very good buy the dip situation, or this could be a relief bounce, a very dead cat bounce is what we would call it. And we see a huge rejection on the next Monday, and we continue to head lower. Okay, and if we do continue to go lower, I would expect price to hold around 23 or around 22.50, which I think would be a steal for a name like this. Okay, so this is something a name. It is a name that I would expect to explode higher and higher and higher into the 100s in the near term future. So keep your eye on this newly formed IPO here. All right, so this is still an IPO. It just started trading last year of October. It's been almost 1 year, or actually it's been over a year. So 1 year and 1 day. Actually, that's pretty surprising. So this is still a pretty fresh IPO. I would say it won't be a fresh IPO after the next 2 to 3 years. But this name is still trading a little bit well, okay, I guess it's not really volatile. It has been trading a little bit better after what I saw right here, this action right here. But this name is still a little bit volatile, so make sure you guys are watching out for this name for the long term. Okay, the longer, be looking at this name in the longer term horizon. Okay, so that was it for PLTR. Let's look at AMD. So AMD, it's pretty choppy. I would have to say for this name. So the price action is getting a little bit choppy here because of the fact that we are basically stuck underneath this ascending support. Okay, this ascending trend line, and between this support, right, around 99.50ish. Okay, and so once we're able to find a definitive trend and able to break above this ascending support or break down below this support level here, we should see some more definitive price movement. Okay, so make sure you guys are watching out for 99.50ish or around 100. Okay, so 100 is the crucial psychological level that I've been touting to you guys during these lives for AMD. As you guys already know by now, hopefully, $100 is the critical psychological price level that every stock is wanting to attain. All right, especially if they're underneath $100 per share. So it's one of the most crucial price levels to hold. And if the stock is not able to hold $100, that means it's going to fall back down below 100. All right, I've seen stocks do that many times. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it for AMD. But something interesting that I saw on AMD earlier this week is that if we start forming a descending support trend like this, okay, we can actually start seeing information of a descending channel. Okay. Obviously, if I use these 2 points here, okay, this will be a nice bull flag. All right. Before we were looking at a bullish pennant, but obviously that got rejected since we lost this ascending support trend line that we just saw here. So if you're able to kind of conform to these descending trend lines here, both of these, this descending trend line of resistance and descending trend line of support, we should see bullish breakout maybe around maybe 102, 101, or 100. Okay, but if we were to conform to these descending trend lines, we can head back down below 100, but it wouldn't be an immediate sell-off. All right, that's something that I would not see. Instead, I will see us just kind of bouncing above this descending support, coming back to this descending resistance, and so on and so on and so on, right? So it's going to reject out the descending trend line of resistance, come back, and then bounce up, reject, bounce up, reject, bounce up, and reject until finally the price is ready to go and breaks above this descending trend line of resistance. Okay, so that's basically it for AMD. Obviously, you guys can play the range between this potential descending channel. All right, but make sure you guys are always keeping your stop losses as well. All right, either a percentage stop loss or an actual price level stop loss. Okay, so the next stock I kind of want to look over was YY. So YY is a Chinese name. All right, it's a media conglomerate as well as a social media conglomerate, a tech name to say for the Chinese markets. And YY is a stock analysis, special stock analysis video that I've done on my channel. If you guys can look through and scroll a little below of all the videos that I've posted on my channel, you guys can see the video. So I have two special analysis videos out right now currently. This ticker symbol YY is one of them, and the other one is A firm. And you guys can go ahead and check A firm out because after my analysis, A firm is now up above 100. Okay, it's absolutely exploded. All right, so YY or Joy also exploded after my analysis here, but obviously we had a lot more selling because, well, if you guys don't know, or if you guys have been living underneath a rock as traders, you guys know China has been cracking down on a lot of, well, basically every single private market or public market as well. Okay, because it's the Chinese Communist Party. They love to crack down on things, and they're basically testing everyone's loyalty or basically they're telling everyone who's the boss here, right? Is the president, right? President Xi Jinping, right? So China is a little bit conflicted in that perspective, but so far this specific company though, YY, is very very undervalued, just like Alibaba, right? I've been saying just like Baba, YY is very undervalued here. All right, this name should be around 100. Okay, so it's the same situation with Baba. Baba should be around the high 200s, but right now it's below 150s. It's the same situation with YY. YY currently is around the 50s. It should be around near 100. I did a steep stock analysis in that special video, so make sure you guys watch that. But so far, YY has been having a pretty good bouncer after reporting some very, very good earnings. So I read through the transcript of the earnings, and the transcripts are usually very long, but I do read them. But YY has been extremely, extremely, doing extremely well in the Chinese market, despite all the conditions that they've been having to work around, right? All these financial and regulatory crackdowns. And YY is something that I don't think is going to be really, chastised by the Chinese government, just because of the fact that they have so much power in their hands, and the fact that, in the form through social media, all right, and their venues are through social media and other stuff like that. And so, anything that's related to social media. So YY, I think the Chinese government can't really do much because of the fact that they basically control social media and state news and everything else and what can be seen or not. So YY only has to follow those rules, right? And obviously they're going to follow the rules because they're underneath the entity of the Chinese Communist Party, right? And they're also a Chinese company, right? So they need to follow their government rules, regulatory rules, and whatever else might be there. Okay, so I don't think YY could be too much expected. Well, not expected, affected. But YY should be heading up higher the next few coming weeks or months. As you guys can see by this big bounce, I profited really well off of this bounce because of the fact that I actually took a little bit of a risk here and actually played this double bottom, but it turned out to be a triple bottom, and I actually did not know there's earnings coming up here. Okay, so I actually got lucky a little bit, and earnings were really good overnight. And so I was like, okay, let me actually hold this, and we actually held that same support again around 39.50 ish. All right, and we actually bounced up above, and we continued to bounce for the next several weeks. Okay, and I actually sold right here. All right, obviously I could have held on longer, but well, too bad, right? This is a big move already. If I were to, yeah, so it's over 40%, right? So it should be around 42% return on my side there. But YY still looks good. We just need to gain more momentum, more buying volume, and more of a conviction to go back to the upside. Okay, so YY looks very good as a Chinese company. Okay, so that is it for today. I am passing my 30 to 45-minute mark. I hope this was a very helpful video to you all. But if you guys have any tickers to submit, come and join me on Monday. All right. Hey, Mr. Pudding, I see that you're here. Oh, no, you're good, man. I am ending it today, though. So you can actually look back at this live. I will be posted, well, it should be posted automatically right after I end the stream here. But please make sure to look over the whole stream. I know you'll find some good tickers to look at for next week. But overall, yeah, of course, man. Of course. Oh, nice. Good. I rewatched the ones I missed. Good. So I really hope that these live videos have been helping out, hopefully. But yeah, so I'll see you all, everyone who has joined me tonight. I know it's a Friday night, so not a lot of people are going to be joining me. They just want to take their eyes off the market and they want to rest. But you know, it's a Friday. Everyone wants to rest, and oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you so much for the support. So yeah, if everyone wants to keep on watching, I highly recommend that you guys do every other weekday. All right, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every other weekday. Remember, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right. Okay, so everyone have a great rest of your weekend and have a great rest of your night. And if you guys aren't subscribed to C.F.O Streamer Watch already, click the link down below, the very first link in the description box, and it'll take you to the subscription page where you guys can subscribe for only $25 per month. All right. Okay, have a great rest of your night and have a great weekend. I'll see you all on Monday.